Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta. No matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. I've forgotten what this feeling feels like, and I don't like this feeling. So let's discuss our feelings together, squaddies. Arsenal lose.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Good. Well, all the good stuff and stuff. Anyway, here we are. And to those listening on Apple and Spotify and all of our audio platforms, appreciate you making us part of your weekend. I always appreciate everyone who takes time out of their important day to spend time with us. I'm so happy to have two wingmen here with me this evening. I think Demian dares not appear today after the last show, but here are my podcast brothers from another mother, Albert and James. Welcome to Squad Central. At ease, fellas, at ease. Squaddies in the live chat, welcome to you. At ease. Don't forget to listen to our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels. It sounds like a lot to ask of you today, considering the result. But please do hit the like button on the way in. We don't charge at the club. Right. Firstly, Albert and James. I'm going to put up the... Oh, I didn't. I haven't put it up. All right, fine. I'm going to go to the starting 11 and I'll just read it to everyone. By the way, this was my first thumbnail today. And for those listening on audio, it's Urian Timber. This was my second thumbnail that I changed at halftime because I thought Declan Rice was really good and David Raya made an amazing save. And my third thumbnail ended up being Trossard. And then the fourth thumbnail, I couldn't bring myself to do it because it's us in a huddle with the result 2-1 hanging at the very tippy top. So the starting lineup today was David Raya, Riccardo Calafiori, Piero Hincapié, Urian Timber, Benjamin White, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Eza, Marino, and Bukayo Saka. James, let's just focus on the starting 11 first, and we're going to rip through the rest, okay? Yep. What did you make of the starting 11? Squaddies, have your say as well.
Exactly the same as what I picked. So, yeah, that was what I believed he was going to play. And, yeah, so I had no real problems with that lineup whatsoever. I actually thought after Ben White's performance the other night, it would have been unfair to have dropped him, even though a lot of people said that Saliba was fit, but we didn't want to be risked. So yeah, I had no problems with it whatsoever, Sophie. But as we will go into, I'm sure along the way, the application by some of the players that were brought in and the system and the way that we play today with the players that were brought in absolutely hampered an entire team.
Albert, what did you make of the starting 11? You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, Sophie, I can hear you, but yeah, let me put myself back on.
Sorry, another rookie mistake. Mistake, like last week.
Sorry, audio listeners. I know. I'd like to let James and Sophie talk this Highbury Squad, but just a very quick one on the lineup. I'm
going to hand these out left, right, and centre today. These yellow cards. I'm in a mood.
Is that for James?
It's for you.
Okay, no, I'm joking. I know it's for me. No, just a quick one. Yeah, I'll sort of mention this to you guys. I think I've said it to you, Sophie, during the game. If you're going to start with Eza and Odegaard, that's probably not the game I would have chose to pick the player against, just off the back of Villa's form and their form at home. But listen, the lineup was what it was. So, and then obviously you looked at the bench and the positive. You thought, you know what, if things are going a bit pear-shaped or they're not going well, you have the reinforcements, obviously, with Trossard being on there to get the game back. But I think the first sort of 50, I don't know how you guys felt, or the people in the chat, the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, he's kind of wondering what was happening with the team lineup in terms of why Villa were penetrating us centrally over and over and over again.
Okay, so let me read some of the comments here. They're coming in thick and fast, and as you can imagine, there aren't too many happy people. So I'm gonna try and focus on the kind of, you know, initial start of the game and the overall kind of. Anyway, I'm just going to read them. Demsek says it's hard, but the better team won. Arsenal Manic says it was all Villa that second half. They deserved to win by more goals. Fred says we're running out of steam. Title number 14 says there's no gap anymore, Sophie. We are gapless. 3 Gaza says Arteta decided to sit back and Villa wanted to win the game. And he also says this is on Arteta. Cincinnati. Overall, Arteta got schooled by a more experienced manager. Tammy says, our chief like officer, I'm going to have to shut down social media this weekend. We'll get to a couple of these other comments about the players. Let's see. Ann235, Villa wanted this today. Arsenal weren't bothered. And I include Arteta in that. We will be lucky to get third at this rate. There's going to be some sensationalistic stuff that folks are gonna start saying. Recently, 1 point Sunderland, 1 point versus 10-man Chelsea, and now dominated by Villa. Arsenal Manic goes on to continue. We're not that side, not that manager. Will come up short again. He's been lucky. Everyone else has been dropping so much points. He still won't win the Premier League. Let me get a few more here. Let's see. Where are we? Well, I'll just keep putting the comments up, and
got a lot to pick from, Sophie. Trust me.
There's so many. It's going a bit crazy. Okay, so let's discuss the first half and how it played out. It felt like Villa were really ready for the match, and James, they get the goal. They deserve the goal. I didn't think that we were great in the first half. It was so hard to design the thumbnail and pick a player to be on it. I wanted to put a couple of Aston Villa players on it, if I'm being honest, because they deserved it. A lot of comments coming through, and we started the last post-game show about Odegaard, and I fear that there's going to be a lot of jumping on Odegaard after this loss, because we've been winning or drawing since he hasn't been in the side. We lose today. And in that first half, I just felt this was the biggest problem. And I texted this to you. Let me know what you think, and the squaddies can jump in. When Odegaard plays, and look, I'm a huge Odegaard fan, and we'll talk about the second half and how he picked his boots up. When Odegaard plays, we rarely pass it to the left-hand side. Now, I don't know if there's no connection between him and Eze, and like Albert explained, like I'd like to see him play together, but was this the game to play them together? Did he trust Eze with the ball? Everything was going to the right, and it wasn't working with Saka today on the right. It just wasn't, James. And I thought that was our biggest problem. But also one of our biggest problems, and we praised him, but when I heard Zubimendi's name mentioned, I was like, oh my God, is he playing? He was absent in the first half, completely absent. Calafiori reverted back to his hot mess type, and we praised him on the last show. Marino, who I said on the last show, after Rice is probably one of our most important players, and he has been, was awful today. Couldn't get in the game at all. First half, I know some other people may disagree. And the biggest problem for me too is without Saliba, and, less Big Gabby on set pieces and stuff like that. But we cannot start the passing from the back with the current players. And, that's my assessment of the first half, James. Odegaard, start with Odegaard because he's going to get pelters today.
Yeah, look, Odegaard got man of the match over here on TNT. And I somewhat agree with some of the sentiment.
Man of the match for Arsenal or man of the match?
No, he got the whole game, man of the match. Yeah, they gave him the complete. That was before they pick it before the second goal obviously goes in, so it makes them look a bit stupid. Really, I mean, when the second goal goes in and you look at everything else, you're sort of going, well, I think you should have gave it to Rodgers personally. But yeah, I do agree with some of the sentiments that was said by Martin Keown about Odegaard in this game. And I don't, even though he wasn't great, I don't necessarily think he's a complete write-off like some of the people here in your comments are saying. But again, we're a democracy. So we say what we see and what we feel. So I don't mind that at all. The thing for me with Odegaard, especially in that first half, and there were times when he was doing it in the second, and you make a great point there, Zubamendi. When Martin Odegaard is dropping deep and coming into Zubamendi's space. So Zubamendi's like, well, I'll push forward then. But you don't want why would you want Zubamendi as an 8? Like how we had that big discussion the other day where somebody said, oh, Martin Odegaard should be a 6, and I tore him a new one for it. It's the same sort of principle here. Why would I want Zubamendi in an 8 space? He doesn't do anything there. That's not where he operates. So I know obviously Odegaard's the captain and he's the influence and what have you, but I think Zubamendi should be a bit more, of himself there, going to him. Get up, do more damage in the press. And when we did at the very start of the game, start to press Aston Villa high and they were playing out from the back, they were panicking. But then like after, I know I'm jumping the gun here, but like after we scored our goal, we completely dropped off. And we did that too. But in that game, it was like, well, we'll be intense for 15 minutes, then we'll sit back, then we'll go intense again, then we'll sit back. And it was just like, no, keep one momentum as best you can. I know they're leggy. I know we've had injuries and everything else. I'm trying not to make excuses because I hate them. But at the same point, it's like keep a solid plan and momentum going. And yeah, you make the great points there about Eze and that today. But the problem is with Eze today, when he was being a winger, Calafiori wants to go into that central space. You can't have that. You can't, because that's the space where Eze wants to operate and go in. And like I sent I wish we could pull it up. I sent you guys the heat map. And all of it was him wide and retaining width. He's not going to do anything being a byline player that whips in crosses, Eze. He wants to come in. He wants to be like Calafiori is, cutting in, going into the box, doing 1-2s and popping shots. That's what Eze, you've just wasted today a £68.5 million worth of footballer. You completely wasted him. The fact he got hooked at half time, and yes, it was the right sub to make, but at the same time, it's just an admission that you got it wrong.
You shouldn't have been in position in the first place. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to be doing that, because you just completely, like I said, you've just completely wasted £68.5 million worth of footballer playing him out wide today. Now, I know you want to get Odegaard back in there, but this is the main thing, Sophie, that we all said a couple of weeks ago. When all these players come back, the test now is how Arteta gets them all when they're all fit. And this is the first big game where he's had to handle that test. And for me, he's got it completely wrong.
Do you know that before today, all of Aston Villa's wins were against teams in the bottom half of the table?
Yeah, but the one thing you know about Aston Villa is, and you saw it from their lineup, they completely packed the midfield. So you were like,
Morgan Rodgers is a very good ball carrying
he's an incredible player. But Tielemans, McGinn, Onana, big, nasty, in your face, won't give you 5 minutes. They won't give you any time. And again, just they failed it. They failed it. They completely failed it. And having Eze have to retain width, the one time he had to win a duel is when they scored the goal, because he's not a left back. I'm like, I love Calafiori. I've been praising him all season, but he had a mare today with him. Awful. He ruined Eze's game.
Yeah,
ruined it.
It wasn't good. Albert, I wanna have you pick up here because let's see. Today's match, BX Gunner says, called for simple traditional tactics, none of the inverting nonsense. A lot of comments talking about Calafiori inverting and leaving the space. Eza was like, dare I say, a spare something in a brothel for that first Aston Villa.
He's never winning
Aston Villa goal.
Against all three of them men. He can't you can't handle three men, like I said, of the like of a McGinn, Onana, and Tielemans by yourself. You could have had Paolo Maldini in his prime. He's going to struggle against them three men.
Albert, jump in and James, and then let's get to Aston Villa's first goal, because I could see it. This is what we weren't doing in the game as much. The way they spread the ball from the left to the right. Eza was lost. No Calafiori there. No one really tracking back. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Albert.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I was just going to quickly just say, the thing is, it's not even just a thing about Villa in their current form, but when we've come up against them in the last few years at Villa Park, Matty Cash is a very, very good fullback. That's not just because he scored the goal today, but he's a very, very good fullback. So you'd think to yourself, Mikel's thinking, we've got a good partnership there and John McGinn. Is it the best thing, for much as I want Ødegaard back in the side and maybe playing Eza, is that the best thing to do? Well, it wasn't. You saw that in the first 10, 15 minutes. You saw it in the first half in terms of conceding the goal. And James makes a good point. And you saw it kind of in the second half. Calafiori did the opposite in terms of is a little bit more playing in his position the way he was supposed to play, as opposed to trying to do the inverted thing and kind of playing almost where he's got the license to play. But that wasn't working, and we didn't start the game well. It's different if you start the game well and you're penetrating Villa and you're getting down beside their fullbacks and you're controlling the central areas of the pitch. But Arsenal weren't doing that. So when we did concede, Sophie, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't a massive shock. It wasn't a massive shock. And when you switch off in those key moments, because Eza saw him over his shoulder. So if you've seen him coming, you should be in a better position so that he does not get ahead of you. And like I said, we conceded the goal and we made it difficult for ourselves. We came back into it, I'd say, kind of almost the second half of the first half, if that makes sense to you guys and the viewers. But you get sucker punched, you concede the goal, and it's a different game. Sort of, we're going into the half time, and we crying for changes, as we spoke about, Sophie, and they came.
It certainly did. Let's get a few more comments up from the squaddies here. I'll read them to you. Here we go. Batten down the hatches, kids. John Guna says, I'm beginning to think Tony Adams was right when he said Rice should be captain. Omar Guna says, Ødegaard was great second half. It's just the style of play. He drifts too right because it works best for him. Saka and White. Eza is left alone, but Eza looks a bit lacking intensity as well. Altcoin Doctor says Ødegaard was so bad, and also says Ødegaard was a minus, and that he needs to be on the bench. Theo John Son says picking his favourites will be our downfall. Tiger Guna says Ødegaard was rubbish. Matt Gimara says Ødegaard completely slows us down. True Guna says Ødegaard was not that bad today. Cincinnati says I'm not a fan, but Ødegaard wasn't the problem today. I agree with that. Arsenal Manic says Ødegaard is a soft player. Definitely ducked out of a challenge in his first game back. Albert and I were talking about that. Yep. And 235 says Ødegaard was dreadful today. Perhaps others were watching a different game. Side to side, slow passing, doesn't look like scoring, doesn't contribute. Sam Peedy says Ødegaard comes in and our attacks is stale. No surprise, he's just not the guy. And I think this is going to be the problem. This is what I messaged these guys, was that he's come in and we've lost to Aston Villa, who, by the way, are on an insane run. And with the league being the way it is, I mean, Emery's a very experienced manager, and we'll get to the managers towards the end here. But, you know, they earned their crust today and they beat us. They beat us, you know, doesn't matter who has the more talented team. It's how a team comes together on the day, and they beat us in most facets of the pitch. And tactically, I think we were a little shown up today as well. Peter W3 says Odegaard was okay. He was given man of the match on TNT. Eza did nothing. Eza needs to start. I know a lot of people are going to say that he shouldn't have played on the left today. But you got to take your chances, and talk about a player who takes his chances. Trossard comes on in the second half with Gyökeres, and Trossard totally changes the game. I thought we were going to go on and win the game. I really, really did. I thought he was tenacious. I thought, positionally, he's always so smart. He's good and quick with the ball now. He just came on and made a difference. And when he went off, we lost it again. We totally lost it. James, Trossard comes on, gets the goal. I thought to myself, we had all the momentum at that point. Gyökeres looked sluggish, but he also was connecting quite well in those first 20 minutes. I thought he totally faded afterwards. We can pick him up in a bit. But Trossard is so fundamentally important to this team now. Comes on, has an impact, goes off. We didn't look the same.
Yeah. I mean, he's been our best player for goals and assists in November. He started, here in December again. Could have had two. Had a great volley. That when we're whipping that ball and he had that one on the volley, that was a great chance. And then the one that he did take again. I know you're asking me about Trossard at the moment, but Bukayo Saka. That's what I want. The one side, Declan Rice winning the ball, breaking it, gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard plays him in. He actually takes the player on, which he doesn't do enough, by the way. This is my criticism of him. When he gets it, he doesn't take these fullbacks on. He's better than most of these fullbacks, Sophie, but he doesn't go at them. But the one time he does, plays it across, Trossard there, bang, and we're all happy. We're all happy as we can be. And then he gets injured again. It's the chance Trossard again. Well, he gets himself injured again in the process, which is annoying because he's now probably going to be out till January with whatever's happened to him today. So it's just like as soon as you get him back, you lose him again. And when you've got a spineless attack like we have got at the moment, other than, Marino, who's a makeshift striker. But again, today he got completely bossed out of the game. And then Gyökeres, apart from the pass that he laid onto Declan Rice that Rice blasted over the bar, did he touch the ball that second half? I mean, the one right near the end of the game, Declan Rice makes an absolute lung-bursting run, plays the ball across into the box. Now, Madueke, I'm not going to have a go at him for that shot. I'm not. But where is Gyökeres in that situation? That is bread and butter for your centre-forward, and he's getting held up in a duel with, he's having a ding-dong with Conser instead. And I'm like,
away.
you need to be running into that, mate.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie, I love all these players. I don't necessarily want to dig any of these players out. But again, we've said it with Arteta and his subs and how effective they've been this season.
Mm-hmm.
But the last two games,
they haven't delivered for him.
Even actually 3 games. Actually, I'm being too generous. The last 3 games, when them subs have come on, the way they've come into the games are disgusting.
Poor,
but
really
this
poor.
is the same attack that I feel like. I don't know if we're a spineless attack. I think today we were spineless in moments. The same with Chelsea, even against Brentford. We missed some beats. I think we've been really, most of our goals have been coming from open play, not set pieces. So I think the disappointment of losing to a team like Villa, who looked aggressive, who looked like, they wanted to win the game. They brought Buendia on and he won them the game. We bring on Trossard and Gyökeres. That's aggressive from Mikel Arteta. It's, for me, Albert, once again, it's the players not rising to the occasion and not closing. ABC, Alec Baldwin, Glengarry Glen Ross always be closing, Albert. So we can talk as much as, Mikel does have some culpability today for playing Eza on the left. But we've also seen Eza play on the left and have really effective games for Crystal Palace, for us. And I just think today you can point the finger at Martin Odegaard, but if no one's running, if no one's making intelligent runs, if no one's getting into open spaces, look how Odegaard's game changed when Trossard came on and Gyökeres was pulling defenders. You don't tell me that Odegaard was garbage today, needs to be binned and sold in January, like some of you are saying in chat. No, look a little deeper. Albert, do you agree or disagree with what I'm saying here?
Not necessarily. I think James made a good point in regards to when you're in games, whether particularly when you're chasing the game or you get it back to 1-1, just for an example, and you bring on subs to impact the game, they have got to do better than what I've seen in recent games at Arsenal.
What, is that Arteta's fault?
No, I'm saying in terms. No, I'm saying in terms of the players when they get onto the pitch, they've got to do better, man. Madueke's got to show more. James made the reference when he came on against Chelsea.
There's a lot of Madueke comments, Albert, as well, coming in.
You're coming up against your old club. You've got to put in a better shift than that, man. And even when he came on today, I was thinking, one, either the players have got to get the ball to him quick enough, or just get the ball to him full stop because he's fresh, he's got pace, he's direct. Get Maatsen turning the other way and get him defending as opposed to breaking down our right-hand side of the pitch. He's got to do better. Gyökeres could have come on earlier in other games to get a bit more sharpness. We're never going to know now, but he came on.
I agree with Fred. I thought he looked a little bit overweight too. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but he looked sluggish. Sorry,
yeah, and no, that's all right. And he came on. He came on and kind of disappeared. Madueke came on and just blended in, but didn't really do a lot. So, and on top of that, to add to that, and it happened against Chelsea as well, is Arsenal get back into the game, and you've got the momentum with you. They start the second half really, really well today. I can't make no faults. And good on Mikel for actually, and I mentioned this to James, actually making subs at halftime that are not enforced. There's a big difference between the two, because you've got 45 minutes to get back into a game against a tough side who are on a very, very good run of form. Don't wait. Don't bring them out in the first 10 minutes to start the second half. No, you bring them on straight away at halftime. But again, we had that window. Yeah, we had that window where we've got back into the game. You've got that 10-minute where the game's turned on its head. Arsenal were the dominant force. You've got to take advantage and get that goal in front. And James mentioned it off camera, and he's right. And I thought it at the time is we've completely lost momentum after we scored the goal. Villa picked up. They look more threatening, to be honest, Sophie. We had we made some opportunities in the final third of that being clear cut, but I actually thought if anyone was going to score that goal to win that game, I thought it'd be Villa.
In the second half, towards not in the not after we got the equalizer. I thought once again it's like we score and we regress. I don't know what that's about. What is that about?
Yeah, that was a big drop off from when we got the goal to make it 1-1. We just completely lost momentum and it shifted as they got back into the game.
Yeah.
And James mentioned it earlier in terms of is that the sound effect?
That's me. Did you like that? This is us.
I'm wondering what was going on
after we score a goal. This is us.
Yeah, I don't know if the guys in the chat feel the same, but I just think looking at that course of the game, Sophie, just through the first half, even the second half, we had a little bit of momentum and play well and got back into it. There were too many times, and it's mentioned on commentary. Now, we're not Villa fans, but there was too many times, Sophie, the ball got turned over way too many times. And you can't...
Did we win any second balls today, Albert?
Yeah, we didn't. No, that was what was really, really winding me up. Like, we just kept losing second ball after second ball after second ball. Didn't help in terms of the sloppiness sometimes in the defensive areas, because Nkapie got Calafiore out of a couple dicey situations. And I'd big up Nkapie. I actually thought he did well, Sophie, personally. in the second. I thought he grew more into it.
I don't know about. He's going to learn the distribution part of it in this league. I think, as I said at the top of the show, we're lacking in that. And quite simply, BX Gunner says they had a better game plan. Zubimendi should have been subbed. How does Norgard go from captain of a Premier League side to never playing? Someone else also mentioned that in these tough away games, excuse me, I'll try and find it, that plays Zubimendi at home and Norgard away at some of these tough, physically, we've not done well against Sunderland, against Chelsea, now against Aston Villa. We just haven't done well. Marky Mark says, I don't want to see Saka, Rice and Zubi play against Club Brugge. These guys need resting and looking after. Barry thinks that Nkapie had a lot more poor clearances, especially towards the end. And exactly, Jay, it's his third, fourth game. He'll get better. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about James had some tough love for Saka last week. And, I'm sorry, but he's not immune to criticism. He's not. And right now, he's probably negotiating a contract for 300 grand plus. And if anyone deserves it, it's Saka for what he's done for this club, being the face of the club, saving the team in its darkest moments, rising to the occasion, being a leader out on the pitch when more senior players have gone hiding in the past. James said something that stuck with me last week, and I was looking for it in this game. Now, I like players to be selfish, and James said he likes players to be selfish. I messaged to my women's group during the game, Saka over the last 2 matches has got a case of the Martinellis. It's like football flu. He's shooting bad shots, and he's not passing the ball when he needs to. There was a right-footed pass in the first half that was really good, and I can't remember who got on the end of it. But he took bad shots today. James, what did you see? And also, there was no overlapping with Ben White. Benjamin's White heat map against Brentford was insane. But there was nothing. There was none of that today. James, what did you make of Saka?
Yeah, like I said a bit earlier, the one time he did what I know he can do, and we all know he can do, but he just doesn't do enough of it. That's when we benefit. It was the same with at Chelsea, Sophie. The one time he took Cucurella on and was like, no, I'm better than you, I'm going to have you, is when he put the cross in and we scored from it. And I'm like, what is it in your head, your game, your application, whatever way you want to go about it, that you can't do that all the time? I'm like, why is the only person that's stopping yourself? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Madueke, when he come on, Madueke for me, Sophie, he's got the first touch of an absolute genius. And then his second touch, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, what you doing? It's like he's in his head, he knows what he wants to do, but his body won't let him do it. But with Saka, I know that he can do anything he wants. I've said it for years. Saka can piss through a Cheerio and not get it wet. He's just a remarkable talent and a person. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But I'm like, you're not showing out enough. And again, I know a lot of people go, oh, why you talk about the money when it's not your money? If you're making 350 bags a week at Arsenal, not many players ever made 350 bags at Arsenal. The last one who did, look how quickly Mikel Arteta kicked him out of the club just as soon as he got his 350 bags a week. We don't like to offer these big contracts. We don't. So,
but I trust him more than any of more than Ozil and Aubameyang, right?
So do I.
I do.
100%.
And today,
but if you're going to make that money, Sophie, you've got to give
he's not
more.
making it yet, and he has been. I just think that you don't want a pattern to evolve, right? And this guy's played a lot of bloody football as well. But you know what I thought was the biggest thing with him today? Was I thought he let the crowd get to him in the first half. Maybe maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the crowd were really on him, Albert, and it felt like, it was. Listen, ever since he's got engaged, he ain't playing well. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not going to have that one. So there may be many factors, but I don't know about that. That's a joyful thing. So no, I don't know. I didn't really think of it like that. I don't think Arsenal started the game very well at all. I just thought in that sort of first 15, 20 minutes, if you're not going to sort of pass teams off the pitch and have a free-flowing football and getting in behind, then you're matching for their intensity. You have to do that first 15, 20 minutes and you work your way into the game slowly. I don't think we did. I think you made the point, Sophie, in terms of our physicality the last few games, particularly today, I thought was missing a little bit. I really think it was. But I understand when you play games of football, you can have a bad day in the office, but today was a really strange one, man. It had to be better in the second half, for example, because we're a goal down.
It was for a little bit, right?
It was. We had a little window. We played well, but as you mentioned before, James had to go and do what he had to go and do.
I put sound effects on when you left, James.
Yeah, I was wondering what was
really?
going on. What?
Yeah, they weren't sound effects for the loo though. I was talking about how we imploded. We implode after conceding a goal.
I thought you were going to say how I imploded. I was like,
no,
yeah.
I did this, and some of them didn't appreciate. I like it. It was like this, and then it went. Okay, so they score
somewhat like the sounds that were made in the bathroom.
I mean, Raya made some good saves again, right? And to concede a goal, and Zico saying it, last minute goals at Anfield, Sunderland, and Villa. Mm-hmm. That's not a trend you want continuing either. You don't want to start trends that are negative, right? Because this team has been so mentally strong so far this season and believed right to the very end. And I always say, like, do not. I was talking with Natalie Sawyer about it, and we were saying how much we hate it. Do not be handing titles in November and October. Do not be getting sucked into it's our title. And when I was on Tom's show and we were talking, he was saying he thinks it's coming from the fact that everyone's bought into the fact that we're going to win it and it's our year. So if we don't play well, we drop points. It's, all that PTSD kicks in. And we three have talked about that as well. You can't be thinking you're going to win the title. You want to win the title, but to be so convinced that it's happening, it's just not healthy. And it will kill you mentally.
Sophie, it's not, because we spoke about this. I mentioned this to you guys in terms of what I thought my thoughts were in terms of the result Arsenal would get. And I spoke to a lot of Arsenal. I said I do think Arsenal, just looking at it, and I don't even know what the team lineup's going to be before we found out. I think we'll get a draw, and that actually wouldn't have been a bad result. And as you mentioned, Sophie, like. You said, I remember you saying it. Imagine what the Arsenal fans are going to be like. You said this recently. If we lose a game, and now you're seeing it in the chat. Now the thing is, we've lost. What's that, James? I think it's our second away defeat in 22 now. I think I heard that today.
First loss in 18 games, Albert.
Yeah. Our away record's pretty good. We don't concede many goals, so there are some positives. Yes, listen. Today is just, when you lose. Someone made the point in the comment. When you lose like that in the last minute, it's such a sucker punch. And when you look, and even when you looked at the goal they scored to make it 2-1, we've blocked this shot, we've blocked that shot, we've got flung bodies in the way, and the one moment we can't do it, bang.
That was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing goal to concede, and that is a goal you do not see Arsenal concede. And today was, I thought, the game where we clearly saw that we miss the two guys, Saliba and Big Gabby. Timber is much more effective defensively as a right back. I don't know, maybe you guys see it differently.
There was a moment in the first half where Watkins, and you were like, God, how did you not score? And the way that he got inside, Sophie, Saliba and Gabriel would have played him off. He wouldn't have even got the chance to have the shot because the ref would have put the flag up. I'm like, Nketiah and Timber, I know it's a new relationship and what have you, but I'm like the application from both of them there at times was, I don't want to say sluggish, but it was proper sloppy.
Right.
And I thought Hincapie's second half looked really good up until right when that goal went in. Because I'm like, you were the one that got it in the throw and caused the panic in the first place. I'm like, you could have booted that just completely down the other end of the pitch. You had no need to put it over there.
And James,
how many players were around that ball, Albert?
I know.
And that was the pattern. Just before you went away, James, me and Sophie were talking about in terms of, I was watching that game and I know it wasn't me because I was watching it. The amount of second balls we did not win throughout the course of the match. You
it was bad.
do that away at Villa Park.
He's going to be so pissed at that.
Yeah. So, and then to compound it even further, you lose to a last minute winner. So I said it, Sophie, and I'll say it again, James. I said it. You've missed it. I just felt definitely in the second half more so. Let me be clear. When it got to sort of the latter stages, I thought if one team is going to nick it, it's going to be Villa. And it happened, unfortunately. Like I said, someone mentioned it in the chat in terms of that we've got a run of games coming up. So, and I'm going to the Villa game at home, so we definitely need to have payback there. But it's amazing. We had a period where we lost a lot of our attackers, and we still lost one today anyway with Trossard. And we've got them back, and then we've had the complete opposite in terms of injuries to our defensive unit. And obviously, Calafiore is missing for the next game, I think, because he picked up his 5th booking today. But we've got to get back on the horse fast, man. And I'll make this comment, and I've said it before at the start of the season, for Arsenal to get over the line and win this Premier League. People say it's going to be hard. I said, yeah, of course it's going to. I want it to be bloody hard. It's going to be hard. We're not going to win every game, as Sophie's mentioned. So to win a league title is difficult, man. We ain't won one for a long time. We're going to have moments like this, We're going to be back on Highbury Squad talking about a defeat. Obviously not a last-minute winner against us, but we got to pick ourselves.
I think if we don't win it, sorry, my hair's tickling me. I think if we don't win it this season, this could be. I won't get my bomb sound effect out again.
No, don't do that.
I just want to stick on. Raya actually saved the team again at the very end there. He did what he could. And there were 4-5 players in that area. And somehow the ball gets to Buendia, who's not going to miss from there. And it was it was so amateur. It was so I was like, wow. I mean, I felt the momentum. I think a lot of us, we talked about it, that it might be coming. They were on the front foot. He brings on Buendia, and Villa Park, just goes bizarre and goes nuts. And now we're going to have to deal with the bottler comments and the narrative and whatever. Just ignore all of that, because there's still a long way to go. And just like I said, you don't get the title handed to you in October and November. You're going to have to deal with adversity. So who are you? We're going to learn a lot about this team in this month. And now the other teams that are playing after us are going to be buoyed from this as well. But I wanted to touch on.
So if you make a great point just as well with the goal, right? Now, for me, Raya, I make Raya out to be quite. I know at times he could be a bit rash, and there was that one in the first half with his left foot, and I was like, whoa.
That was his only dodgy moment today.
Exactly. But I normally associate the word I would associate with David Raya is calm. I think he's been our best goalkeeper in many a year that we've had. But when that goal went in, I have never seen him so venomous towards the team. Because like you said, just a few minutes before, he's like, I've saved you a point there. And now you failed me. And he went nuts. I have not seen him ever lose his head like that. And rightfully so. But I'm like, he is going to be killing them on that bus back. Because it's a long bus home. It really is. And I'm like, he's going to... Yeah.
James,
wait.
There's a couple of moments before that,
Wait, Emery take risks and he doesn't have half the squad. Arteta's been taking risks this season. I'm sorry, I won't I can't.
You don't
have
get a bigger
this.
risk than hooking 2 players at half time.
Come on.
He never does that. Very
And
rare.
the
Well,
players
the only
score.
time he did was Man City. Sorry.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season.
And against Chelsea, who were people were saying, oh, he's going defensive against 10 men. In that match, he brought on Odegaard and Gyökeres. Like, this is nonsense. The players let him down today, in my opinion. I thought that when you're looking at the injuries in the bench, right? So on the bench today, we had, let me tell you, and if anyone has any quotes from Mikel, then please let me know so we can read them. I'm going to get to your plays of the match and the gaffer score and stuff in just a second here. But on the bench today, we had Martinelli, who came on, Gyökeres, who came on, Trossard, who came on and went off, Madueke, who came on, and Lewis Skelly. He also had Norgard, Waneri, and Salmon, right? Waneri may have to go get a loan. I'm starting to feel for him. If you don't, these physical games, I have a feeling Waneri might get a game against Wolves. Excuse me. So, Madueke, Trossard, Gyökeres, Martinelli. How's that not taking risks? You literally, and Albert said he's making up for maybe his mistake on the Eze thing. Fine. But at least he's making the change at half time.
Because he rarely does that. He rarely does that unless it's unforced. Yeah.
You cannot keep expecting Declan Rice, who, by the way, got hit in the balls big time. That was also from a Matty Cash shot, right? And that was a kind of heart in your mouth moment. And he just turns up all the time. And at some point, these other players have to show the same consistency. And you can't have several players having a bad game on the same day. Declan Rice is consistent right now.
That keeps happening.
It is. Trossard is consistent.
Have their worst day all together. Like just collectively, they all fall. It's like a domino effect. I'm like, they all go, well, I'm all good. Well, if you have a stinker, I'll have a stinker as well then. And I'm like, no, you can't.
Nick Paris, are you mad? Arteta's tactics are shocking. They've been shocking at times. His biggest mistake today was, as Albert said at the top of the show, starting Odegaard and Eze together in a game like this that was just going to be pure physicality. I mean, if he'd seen Aston Villa play at all this season. So here are the stats. Aston Villa had 14 shots. We had 15. They had 7 on target. We had 8. 53% possession to us. Passes, 100. That can't be right. 100 passes and 66 for us. That can't be right. Is that first? Am I looking at first half? No. Someone's got to find that for me because that doesn't seem right.
Is that successful? Is that successful final third passes? Is it?
It just says passes.
Okay. Because
83% accuracy for their passes, 81 for us. 10 fouls for them, 8 for us. We had 2 yellow cards, 4 offsides. They had no offsides today. Not one. Goes back to which of you said Big Gabby and with the Timber kind of getting caught with Watkins. Timber and Saliba and Big Gabby don't allow that.
Yep.
They had no offsides. Yeah. And we both had 3 corners each. But the eye test tells you it sounds pretty even. But if you watched the game, and people are sending me XG stats. Stop. I don't care about XG. Yeah. What does the score say?
Sophie, we had more accurate passes. We had more passes in the final
third.
And we had more crosses than them. But and you mentioned this against Chelsea, Sophie, and you were spot on then, and it's the same today. Some of the shots that we had, you can't. Why are you using boots that are like pillows? Who hits the ball hard in this team? Please. The one time we did was Odegaard, which I was shocked at that it come from him. And Martinez had to say, I'm like, can any of these hit a ball with a bit of venom? It's like, why is everything placed? There was the one that Saka had when it was an open goal, and everyone was going, oh, what a block by Kamara. And Kamara, by the way, good player. He's another one for Villa that I didn't mention. He's a good little player. But I'm like, no, it's not, oh, what a good chance, and they blocked it. I'm like, he has to go high into a corner. That's not one to place. That's one, when it comes down like that, high into a corner, not low and across the floor. The selection from some of them is terrible in what they're doing. Not just Saka. Odegaard today, there was one from Rice, which I don't blame him because he had no other option. Rice was like, well, if I don't shoot, I've got no one else is making a run for me, so I'm going to shoot. And yeah, but I'm like, the rest of them, it's like they're like they've got pillows for feet. I'm like, who's lashing a ball? Who wants it? You know,
Saka
again,
had
it's cliche, but who wants it?
Saka had that really good shot from a distance, and everyone was raving about Martinez's save, but I feel like he kind of shot it at him. It was great. It was a strong
people
shot.
were going on about the Sanchez one the other day. I'm like, no, he's making easy saves look splendid because he's a dope. But I'm like, the shots were rubbish.
Yeah. Our execution in the final third, man. I just think sometimes that James is right, man. Like, why can't you just put your foot through the ball?
I thought Odegaard had a great shot too today. A couple of great shots.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised when he struck it the way he did. And Martinez got a little.
See, it's not if you look at that, Albert. If you like this is why a lot of people are like, well, Arteta this, Arteta that today. Against Chelsea, I think he deserved criticism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get why people were throwing toys out of prams because we couldn't close the deal against 10 men. Today, any one of the teams could have won the game with some opportunities they had. The issue is we weren't clinical. We weren't fast enough in certain spots. He changed it. He brings on Trossard. We get a goal, but then after there's not enough, kind of aggression to keep. And then, you have to be clinical. That's where I agree with you guys about how, sometimes it feels like we're a little bit impotent, but it's the players have to convert their chances, win their duels. He can't do that from the sideline, right?
We didn't do that the first 15, 20 at all.
Yeah. After we score, and then you're thinking, right, like Super Kev used to say, bruck the neck, stamp on it, like keep that. Arteta isn't the one going to him. Oh no, sit back and hold it off for 50. Hold your momentum off for 15 minutes, lads, and let them back into the game. And then, like you said, you'd lose second balls, make it a really niggly, horrible game, which we're not good at. Chelsea become a really horrible, niggly game, and we messed it up. Sunderland become a really horrible, niggly, battly game. We messed it up. Newcastle is the only game this season, and it's because Gabriel set piece bailed us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cheat code when it gets horrible like that is play for a set piece and hopefully one of them bails us out. But because we have nothing else, we have no other counter for when these games become absolutely horrible. The last few days when we've done these post games, Sophie and Albert, you've been here, and other times it's just been me and Sophie and whoever. We've said right off the performance today, because it was the result. Now you can look at the performances, especially today's, and go, "No, you need to buckle up now." Because that's one too many times now. I wrote it off twice. I ain't having it a third time.
Yeah, James, we said it. If with these kind of games, if you're not going to play well, or you're not going to walk away with 3 points, you then not lose. You take the point and you run. And to not see it out again for the third time now, it's not great, man. It really isn't. If you want to get this league over the line and get it done. That's a lesson they're gonna have to eradicate that out of their system, conceding last minute goals, dropping points.
Our biggest problem right now, okay, is because there's a lot of people saying we have, barring Trossard went off, of course, but you have Saka, Madueke, Eza, Odegaard, Gyökeres, Martinelli all fit. So there is no excuse up front. I'm sorry. There is zero excuse. Those players need to be performing. You're going for a title, and these are the games where you have to get a point, like Albert said. You cannot drop points. Our problem, all right, is you cannot play too many games without two of your best players, okay, in Saliba, and Big Gabby. Now, Mosquera is a loss. I don't care what anyone says.
He's out for a while.
And he's out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I wrote to you, Albert, if you remember yesterday, and I said, is he better playing Benjamin White in the centre half role alongside Nkapie and keeping Timber at right back? Because now you're riding off Benjamin White, man of the match, heat map, insane, overlap.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to think about that, because Benjamin's passing is better than those other guys. He's a good passer of the ball.
He is a good passer of the ball. He is.
And attack stance from defense, and we lack that. Yeah, and he's also got the shithousery in the dark arts, Albert.
No, you make a good point. I'm glad you brought it up, because it's like, I mean, with Ben White, and I hope Mikel does think this, because obviously when he was on loan, I remember he's on loan at Leeds and he's at Brighton, he kind of, that sort of 2-3 year period with Ben White and his like career development, he started off as a right-sided centre back in the back three. Then he's played in the back two. Now he's a right back. So it's not that Ben White can't play there, but I think is Mikel, the question you have to ask is Mikel prepared to do that with the way things are now? And he has to think about it even more, Sophie, because as you mentioned, Mosquera's out the same for 6 to 8 weeks. We're not going to see him for a very, very long time. So is Mikel brave or prepared to say, you know what? Let me play Ben White centre half. I might not play there for a while, but he can play there. It's not alien to him. He is a defender, and like you said, he's good on the ball. So to me, you're not. It's not a gamble. You've got two very, very good defenders in Timber and Ben White, who for me you can alternate them in them two positions. So Mikel, if he hasn't seriously thought about it already, he needs to, coming into the run of games we've got Club Brugge, we've got Villa again, we've got Brighton in there, we've got a cup game in the Carabao Cup as well. There's a lot of games to come. Wolves obviously as well next week. So he should be thinking about that, Sophie, for me personally.
Currently, Arsenal are 33 points, Aston Villa 30. Manchester City, as we broadcast currently, is 0-0. Chelsea 0-0. Sunderland 0-0. Everton winning 1-0. This is insane. If Everton win today, right, and the others don't, they'll be in third place, 3 points behind Aston Villa.
I forgot we got to play them as well. Sorry, away at Everton as well.
Well, hopefully our record at their new stadium will start off better than we were at Goodison Park.
Someone made a good point about Timber, because I saw it. I think, James, you might have seen this. I think
Ben White's pace. That's why he should.
Out of 14, and he's appeared in the other two. So I don't know when he's going to get a rest. Someone put in the comments, so he's not going to get one. He's not.
Gabriel Hines might get a game in defence again now. So, you know what I mean? We're that low. We're going to have to pull him out of retirement.
Yeah, Timber's not going to get a rest, man. You tried to do that, and look what happened.
Anyone's got Kivior's number? WhatsApp him. Bring him back.
I mean, get on the phone. Yeah, get on the phone. Bring him back. Seriously.
Don't get me wrong. Marley Salmon's family are a friend of one of my work colleagues. I was over the moon for him to be part of that matchday squad today. I was very, very happy because I know they're a lovely family, and he deserves to be in there. But blimey, that poor kid. He might have had, if something else happened, he's a 16-year-old thrown right into the frying pan.
He would have had to come on. Yeah. Mad.
Gem. Emery made right subs at right time. That was the difference. We didn't. You don't think we did make the subs at today? We did. It just didn't work out. I'll tell you something. He
can't help what they do when they come on.
Go on.
That's not him. He can't live vicariously through the footballers that he puts on the pitch. He can't do it.
This is where I will take Mikel to task. All right, if Declan Rice travels, I'm calling the police on him.
Yeah. I don't know if Declan Rice has a lazy boy, but you are feet up on the sofa, slippers, whatever. If you want to twitch, you can have one that night. Yeah,
he shouldn't be playing.
shouldn't go to Belgium. You don't even
I wouldn't even play. I wouldn't even play Zubimendi.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to change it, but yeah, Norgard.
I'm not taking Saka either.
For me, Nanweri, you can play that game for me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Miles Lewis Skelly should play. Waneri should play. Norgard should play.
Calafiori, if you're going to play him at centre half because he can't play against Wolves. So let him play against Brew because he can't play at the weekend.
I'll put Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield.
Yeah, do anything. Just do not have them lads that have played game in, game out against. Don't take them to Belgium. Do not take them.
Top 4 trophy. I thought Saliba might be back in this game, but he's not. And Big Gabby's going to be out for a bit. Mosquera's going to be out for a bit. Saliba should be back soon.
They said he was close, but they didn't want to risk. So I reckon he probably was fit, but they were like,
he might play in the Champions League on Wednesday.
Possibly.
Ease him back in. Everyone talking about injuries. I'm sorry. We're missing the injuries that are the biggest concern right now are our 2 centre backs.
Yeah.
Right.
But other than that,
other than Havertz, everyone's available. Trossard might not be now, but we've got enough firepower up front and a midfield. Zubimendi did nothing to affect the game today. Let's call him out for what it is. He was terrible today. He was invisible. And he was eaten alive by the physicality.
He was against Chelsea as well.
This was the
game versus Chelsea.
The physicality.
The first 2 games for me where people have been talking about his physicality, but in the Chelsea, you guys are right. In the Chelsea in the game today, he's
Sophie. That should worry Mikel though. The way someone put in the chat, they're right. Like to get back in that game, like 7 minutes off into the second half. And for it to capitulate and just fall off the way it did. I don't care if Villa are playing at home. You cannot lose that type of momentum so quickly after bringing on subs.
That's what I said about habits, Albert. We cannot have these habits trend. Yeah. You've got to go. Teams that win championships, they go for the throat. You get that equalizer, you go for the jugular. You're away from home. You've got the momentum. You've got the talent. Yeah. Instead, it worked the opposite way. And currently, Manchester City are winning 2-0.
I'm getting the Michael Jordan documentary clips on my TikTok at the moment constantly. And you're spot on. You just know where he's saying about, you've got to kill these teams. You've got that I think at times they get comfy thinking, I've got that goal back. And, I think they're too hyped. I think they believe in themselves a bit too much.
Yeah. I think we need, this is the mental part. So let's see how we respond. I think this is someone like where Gabriel Heinze comes into play with the mentality part of it. And you heard the Saliba interview on Men in Blazers. He's going to be fundamentally important. Guys, mental and aggression is our Achilles heel. And without those 2 things, you will not win the league. Who's your player of the match?
I gave it Rice because, like you said, I thought he was everywhere again. Zubimendi at times wasn't holding it down in that 6 role, so he had to slide in there. Hincapié and Timber, when they were a bit sloppy, he slotted in there as like a 3rd centre-back, which, again, sacrificing his own game to help. But, yeah, for me, I think him, Raya and White were the only 3 that I could really think could walk up with a bit of credit. I think the rest... Okay, Trossard come on and scored a goal and got himself injured, but I thought the rest, they were all right or they were way below standard.
Jeffrey, yes, we were in first place. At one point we had a 7-point lead, and after tonight, that will go to a 2-point lead. No one here is throwing their toys out the pram. We're having a constructive, calm conversation about how we've started to develop a few bad habits. In certain games, and we can't have those bad habits continue. And Mikel needs to have trust in the squad, believe in them, believe in himself, and the players need to be accountable for what they didn't do against Chelsea and what they didn't do against Aston Villa. And it took a last-minute goal, a save that trickled over the line to beat Brentford.
Yeah, what they say? They say pressure is a privilege, isn't it? That's what Arsenal believe in that.
Exactly. Who's your player of the match, Albert?
I mentioned it. I I thought he played really well in the second half in Capia, to be fair. But Ben White's a good shout. But yeah, Raya, it's a shame that we could see that goal. I thought he pulled off some really good saves. And James said he's right. He brings a calming influence. And so I'd give it to Raya personally.
Is it possible to give it to Leo Trossard just for coming on and getting a goal and giving us hope?
I hope it's a
Sophie, you're the host. You can say whoever you like.
Yeah.
My man of the match. Look, I thought for 25 minutes Odegaard played like a man of the match, but I don't think he deserved to be man of the match. I think Trossard getting the equaliser and putting us on the road, for a brief moment was really good. Declan Rice is, these two players I have on screen right now for me, Declan Rice and David Raya. It's hard to separate them today. Declan Rice, this could have been worse here. It could have been 2-0 at the time, I believe. So yeah, for me, everyone needs to kind of step up and not make Declan Rice get fed up of having to do it all on his own. And, they need the killer mentality. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And I think that Trossard brings the guns. I think Declan Rice does. I think even though David Raya has moments, one lapse, he it's almost like it refocuses him and he's in the game. And yeah, I mean, you get good 10 minutes from Madueke, a good 5 minutes from Eza. You need consistency. And also, can I just say, I thought it was so poor that Eza won Player of the Month just because he scored a hat-trick in the North London derby. No. Let's not do this marketing bullshit, people. The Player of the Month has been Trossard or Declan Rice. And I'm sorry. And Mikel Merino for getting the 2 goals that he did. But please, don't try and sell us something that just isn't there because we're not buying it. Eza needs to step up. And Rebecca Lowe's words just keep swirling around in my head on that front. The gaffer today, James?
Well, I'd give him a 5 because I think he set it up. I think he set it up wrong. I really do. Again, like we talked in the show, once they, and Kevin used to say it to you all the time, didn't he? Once they get over that right line, you can't be held responsible. You can't be held responsible. And but that today, I think it was just one too many. I think you just tried to be a bit too clever there against a team that they set up perfectly. They packed the midfield. They saw, like we said, about what Zubamendi was like against Chelsea. And that way, when you do bully him and when you do get in his grill and in his face like that, then the attacking players drop deep. And like we said, Odegaard and Rice, you want them nearer their box than you do your own. Because when they're near our own, what are they going to do? They're going to do nothing. And they got it. They got it spot on, sadly, and we didn't. So yeah, I'll give Mikel a generous 5.
Albert?
And then this one at the bottom here, would you have given Arteta a 5 if it finishes 1-1?
Well, no. It didn't.
No. Yeah.
And it didn't. So
listen, I love playing the what if
sorry,
game.
Sorry, Matthew. But come on, mate.
So I'm only gonna say a 6 because he made the subs at halftime. Because we know Mikel typically only makes subs when they're enforced. But he had to make the subs he made. And I hope he has some private words with some of the players who have come on as substitutes in recent games because not good enough.
When he made the subs, I used to argue about this with Kev all the time because I'm like, he doesn't change the game. It's like for like. Kevin's like, what are you talking about? He's changing the game. He's making subs. I'm like, no. I was like, no. What is he doing to change the game? Tweaks here and there.
Well, Trossard's more clutch and more direct. He's not going to, like I said with Eze, Eze's just going to hold and retain width and let Calafiori do in all that in the centre because maybe, I don't know if it's Eze still, he feels like he's new and he can't go to Calafiori, hey, stay out my space or whatever. Trossard weren't going to let Calafiori do that. He hasn't done. Look at when they've played together all season. He don't let Calafiori do that.
But
So again,
seeing how Calafiori was like in no man's land, playing that inverted role so deep,
Yeah.
it's just something as simple as just stay in the traditional position.
Yeah.
Protect the your centre backs, and then maybe Zubi gets on the ball more and can spread a pass. Maybe Declan Rice actually gets to play box to box. I think we need to look at these things. In the last 2 games in particular, Declan Rice has not been able to play his game the way we've seen him play his game. And it's because he's having to do way too much hustling and saving.
And that's why I understand where people are like, he's going to go. He's going to get, because I'm like, yeah, because he's doing 3-man jobs instead of a 1-man job. And I'm like, like I said a couple of podcasts back, if he runs under 12K a game, I'd be shocked. He must have done at least 11.8, 11.9K today, easily. But I'm like, I'm with you. If he goes to Belgium on that plane, then
there'll be hell to pay.
Get the cuffs. Get the cuffs out.
Well, look, credit to Aston Villa, to the opponent. 2-1 to them today. They deserved the win. We had our chances, we had moments, and we were weak sauce today. We couldn't capitalize, and we hadn't, we weren't physical enough. We were getting beaten to every single second ball, and that is where we've been really great. Off the ball, we've always been great, not on it. Today's the kind of day where you say to yourself, I see why Mikel likes to play Martinelli, because of what he does defensively. We had holes everywhere. We just weren't at it. And we can't, let this affect us. I'm sure if we feel sick tonight, the players are going to feel even sicker. Mikel's going to be furious, like the boys said, driving home. Don't try and stop his car. Get an autograph. He is going to be mad. No paella for him tonight. I don't think so. He's going to pour himself maybe a nice glass of cava, or maybe just a plain old shot of whiskey to get over this one. Losing to Emery as well. By the way, can we just take a minute? Because I've been saying a lot how I hate it when a big team wins and the focus is on what they didn't do versus what the team that won did, right? And Emery, start to the season, there were people that were, you know what? This dude, he's not along for this job. He's getting fired. He's getting fired, right? And what he's done to turn Aston Villa's season around is incredible. And he's manager of the month for me. Mikel Arteta's not manager of the month. I think Emery's manager of the month. And I'm sure that was a satisfying win for him today. Mm-hmm. They were really good and they out-hustled us. So sometimes you just got to call it as you see it and give credit to your opponent and show a little bit of respect. Oh, they really hate us. And you know what? I hate Martinez. I don't know. I think I may hate him more. I don't hate, but I think I hate him more than Bruno Fernandes.
Right, so if we'll get him back in 24 days' time.
All right, people, follow LL Call James 91. If you're listening on our audio platforms, you'll see the boys' handles. Please do give them a follow. What you got coming up on the old Purely Arsenal podcast, Mr. James?
Yeah, we're probably going to do a review of this.
God bless you for doing it twice.
Yeah, I might have to do it again. I might have to do it a third time because I'm going to have to do it on my own channel. So can I just take 2 quick little seconds to mention 2 things?
Yes.
First one, doesn't Crazy Train as a walk-on song make North London Forever feel so inferior? How good is Crazy Train compared? That's the best walkout song in the league, isn't it? Crazy Train. I know he sadly lost him a few months ago, but don't it, mate? Don't walking out the Crazy Train. Oh, it's brilliant. And then the second one. Now he doesn't know who I am from Adam. However, I love him to bits on ESPN FC, and I love him to bits when he's with you. So I want to say a big get well soon to Shaka Hislop.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shaq, good shout.
Absolutely,
because he is. Shout. And again, he don't know me from Adam, and we've never met. But he is a class act. Just every time I hear that man's voice, he just comes across as one of the classiest people. And you know what? Something that's so bad and so terrible, for him to raise the awareness, especially in Caribbean men, the risk with this prostate cancer that he has, to take a negative and try and turn that into a positive for other people is inspirational. So yeah, big love, Shaka, from me, and I know you two will echo those sentiments as well. But
absolutely,
big love to Shaka, because he's class.
James.
I really got all the time in the world for Shaka.
Well said. I have to say, we have a lot of guests on this show, and Shaka's been very generous with his time and come on Highbury Squad. He's a good friend of the show. And I messaged him, and let me tell you, there is no kinder person in football. I mean, he's so kind, and he does so many good things for so many people, and he's such a fighter. And I don't know if you guys remember, but was it last year or the year before where he fainted on air?
They were live. Yeah,
and you have this issue that he's been dealing with, and our hearts go out to him. And I was going to check on him today. I was going to send a message to Stevie Nicol as well, just to see how he's doing. And there was someone that was going to come on the show this week, and it hasn't happened. There's a lot going on over it, so our love to Shaka, and thank you for bringing that up, James. Appreciate it. Albert, what do you have coming up, son?
Well, I know I do like a Sunday review, preferably not after a defeat, but I'm going live at 12 p.m. UK time tomorrow with a couple of new guests coming onto the channel, so it'd be nice.
Very good. Very good.
You might recognize both of people.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
well, make sure you tune in tomorrow with Albert. Looking forward to that. Congratulations to Arsenal women who won today 2-1 against Liverpool. And we will be covering that. We didn't want it to get I hate when they play at the same time. What is that about?
Crazy. Yeah, I was like, what? Both midday games?
So we will be covering Arsenal women. Leah Williamson back. It was, it was a good win and a very valuable few points. So we're going to be talking Arsenal women on here and giving them their own love and their own set of shows and stuff like that, as we always do. I tell you what, I'm going to say something now. Where is it?
Uh-oh. Have you found it?
You know me. Thunder Road. I'm going to kick off if Craig Burley appears on this channel. You mean the way some people kicked off when I did my World Cup draw special with Alexi Lalas? If you missed this, by the way, please go and have a listen. If you're open-minded to listen to the show, we talked about the World Cup draw. We talked about the nostalgia and the beauty of the World Cup as Generation Xers. We also talked about Arsenal from his perspective. He had a great question for me. And today's MLS Cup final is Messi versus Muller. And we talked about MLS Cup. We talked about culture and why America has to continually defend itself to the rest of the world when it has a great culture and a great set of fans, stadiums. It's not as great, of course, as the football in some leagues in Europe, but you'll get more atmosphere at an LAFC or Portland Timbers game than you will at Burnley versus, I don't know who. Anyway, so I did get some stick from people for this show. And I just want to say something. All right. Now here I'm breaking my, how can I put this? I will bring on whoever I want on this channel and interview whoever I want. Now, there are people in broadcasting that interview people from all corners of the earth. Do you think that Barbara Walters thought Saddam Hussein was a good guy? Do you think that a lot of newscasters who interview people think they're good people? It's news and it's education and it's learning from all sides. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing myself to Barbara Walters. She was the first person that I thought of in my head. There are polarizing figures in football and polarizing figures from all corners of life and in all different football cultures around the world. Alexi Lalas is an icon of the 94 World Cup. He was a trailblazer. He put and helped put US soccer on the map. So I was mimicked from some for calling him an icon. I got a message from someone calling him a monster. And, you know, you can not like someone, but at some point you got to just draw the line. Okay. Jamie Carragher spat in a young girl's face, as in on Sky Sports, and continues to work on television. Maybe someone considers him a monster. So I just want to say, like, I don't even put the ads on anymore. I don't have super chats, right? And I have a lot going on in my life right now. And I really work hard to bring you and try to bring you the best content possible because it's my passion. It's what I love to do. And I also have a consulting day job that brings in the bacon and helps pay the mortgage and all this stuff. You know, running your own YouTube channel is not easy. Otherwise, everybody would do it. But if you don't want to listen to a certain show, please don't listen to it. But don't come at me or the guest with vitriolic. You can have a constructive, you can disagree with Alexi's politics. You can disagree with whatever. I don't mind. I welcome that. But let's keep it respectful. That's all I wanted to say.
So next week on the Highbury Squad, FIFA Peace Prize winner and President-elect
Gianni Infantino
of the United States will be on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. The star of Home Alone.
Well said, Sophie. Well bloody said. I was going to use a stronger word, but I'm not going to do that.
Can I just say too? It's like I tried to be a justice warrior for the during the Qatar World Cup. It got me nowhere. Mm-hmm. Absolutely nowhere. But in my heart and in my mind, I believed in something and I stood for what I believed in. And I encourage everyone to do the same, and you do the same. And one of the conversations Alexi and I had actually was the scaremongering ahead of every World Cup. Happened in South Africa, happened in Russia, happened in Qatar. My issue wasn't going there and being you can go there. It was a great World Cup in the end, experience-wise, the closeness, the stadiums, all of it. I just disagreed with, how folks like me get treated there sometimes, right?
Sophie, let's get it right. You were asked to go.
I was asked to go, yeah.
And there were other people that, they've got a larger platform and a place to speak from than what you do. And they were complaining, but they went and took the bag. You could have took the bag, but you stood your ground and went, no, I fundamentally disagree with how people such as yourself are treated. So again, you did. And for me, you did the right thing there. For a lot of people, you did the right thing there. So I'm 100%, like you said earlier, it all comes down to, if you don't like who's on it, don't watch that week. Don't give up on the channel. Don't give up on Sophie. Just don't watch that episode and watch when people that you like are on.
I don't watch shit I don't want to watch, right?
There you go.
And title number 14, you can look on the channel for some episodes and stuff, but it was all the stuff ahead of it, the documentaries, the workers, the treatment, the way some gay people were being treated there. So there's a lot, right? So now the scaremongering has started with the US, and here we go. I live here. There's a phenomenal football culture here. There really is. Mm-hmm. And people will be surprised. And by the way, it's not just in the US. Canada and Mexico are going to be epic hosts of this World Cup as well. Mm-hmm. But again, you have a polarizing figure who sits in a really big house in the capital, and everything stems from there. And people just need to remember, it's the same with the Olympics. Once it starts, no one gives a shit about that. Once the World Cup started in Qatar, no one cared about any of that because people focused on the football. And the game has a responsibility to its hosts and to the game itself. But I'm sorry, people try to change things, and it's like one head of FIFA of corruption, followed by another and another and another. And that's a whole other show that we could be.
Yeah, there's many organizations, not just in football. I'm a big athletics fan.
Exactly.
The amount of corruption in that organization is scary. And so, just to add to that, you make a good point. And me and James, we had this conversation a lot in terms of, listen, you can watch whatever football you want to watch, but some people only watch Arsenal. They don't watch anything in regards to football. So I don't live in America, but I know how big it is over there, football. And like you say, they're talking about, you sent me that thing in regards to England, their potential route in terms of the
word soccer. If they get to like the second round, for example, they're going to play Mexico. There's history behind that, man. The Azteca Stadium, 1970 World Cup. Mm-hmm.
Like football exists outside of England. just to let people know that it's such a huge global game. So if I'm buzzing for you and the likes of Demian, fact that when the World Cup does arrive.
Yeah, there's 2 games in LA at Kroenke's house at SoFi Stadium. I'm really excited. The USA games are there, and then we'll wait to see how the others fall in. This is what I don't like. Americans are rude people. I wonder if you've ever been to America. You ever been to France?
There you go.
Huh? You ever been to that Chinese restaurant in Chinatown in London where you go just because they're rude to you and they serve you with rudeness? I mean, this is crazy. I'm sorry, but I'm not having it. Anyway, I should go now before I say something that I regret. You know, it's also really funny is, you know, there's certain leaders that if they were on a stage, they'd be like, oh my God, so cool. How cool is it that X is on stage? How cool is it that X is on stage? I mean, what was wrong with having the leader of Mexico and Canada and the United States on stage pulling out the ball? I mean, people are so freaking offended by everything. What is wrong with you?
Sophie, they're going to get really upset when Donald Trump recreates Diana Ross's penalty in the opening ceremony, aren't they? They're going to lose their head when he takes that penalty. Yeah, exactly. You know someone's going to score at a game that he's at, run to where he is and they're going to do that as a celebration to it. You know it's happening.
This is ridiculous. To who? America is a dangerous vacation. You know, I'm going to end the stream.
I went to Disney as a kid in Florida and I got sunburned pretty bad. It is a bit, that sun can get you. Especially, there you go. Especially when you're part ginger like me. It really, because
London's safe right now, right? With all the knife crime all the knife crime in England and the middle of, and all the daily riots going on in Paris.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
I live here.
I don't feel safe and I'm in Essex. I ain't even in London.
I come from the US to the UK often for my work and for football. And let me tell you, it is, you don't feel like the London that you used to when you come over. So anyway. And yeah, Thunder Road, well done. I'd rather talk about former Canadian PM Justin Trudeau dating Katy Perry.
Leave
the rest. Leave the rest. Leave the next bit.
Who looks amazing,
Anyway, it's another epic post-game show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I adore and respect you and love that we're able to talk honestly and going back and forth with our truths. And like I said, let's just always have the open dialogue and come at each other with that respect. Enjoy, if you can, the rest of your weekend. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great game for our club. And then, you know, I'm going to go watch is the Formula One race on now?
Yeah, don't watch the Ashes. Watch
Monaco.
That instead, because the Ashes.
Is Monaco?
The Ashes has gone anyway.
No, isn't it in Abu Dhabi? This is the last race of the season. Lando Norris has to win.
Yeah, watch the racing. Don't watch the cricket.
Yeah, don't watch the cricket. There's been shambles.
Yeah.
I would have said to you, Sophie, you could have watched John Cena's last match, but that's next week. You know, even there's no wrestling to even take my mind off today. I'm already
talking too much wrestling in my consulting career.
No, Sophie, let's get this watch time up. It's all right.
let me tell you something. James is I'm working on a wrestling project, and James has been James.
It is my goal.
Yeah,
It's
it
my
is.
goal to get you to watch something wrestling and go, do you know what? That weren't too bad. Even to
It's-
just get you to go, that wasn't too bad is my goal.
You know what's really funny? It's like someone WhatsApping me and saying to me, asking me, "Hey, Soph, who is Lamine Yamal?" That's my question to him, the equivalent in wrestling. Oh, and then I go on Instagram and it's like, 7 million followers. Sure. Okay, right.
I was name dropping yesterday and I'm like, you don't know who these people. I listened back to it after I said it. Was like, that could be that. Sophie could have walked past that person in Goodwills. You don't know who they are.
No, I'm learning a lot. See, I'm a sponge.
I'm like, you don't know who Bret Hart is.
I'm a sponge, people. I'm learning. So I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know, it's I'm tired. I'm not tired. I'm just like getting up, and I just want to show you guys 3 o'clock in the morning. Get the show ready. You know, watch the game. Get all your little slides up and stuff like that. I mean, it's when the games are at that time in the morning, it's tough. So
yeah.
Anyway, Tammy Steels, well done for guiding the channel. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Try and do something nice outside of football that's going to make you smile, whether it's a date. Oh my God, I've got a film for you guys to watch.
Go on.
Have you seen Anniversary?
No. We'll watch it.
What, with Diane Lane and Kyle Chandler. I watched it last night with Tony. Let me tell you, what a film. It is disturbingly brilliant. And for those of you who are annoyed by the World Cup and certain people in it, go watch Anniversary. It will top it all off for you and have a great weekend. Great film. Go watch it. All right?
Yeah, go and watch something else.
All right. Love you guys. At ease. Don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them, and be kind and be nice and all that jazz.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
You should read some comments more carefully when I put them up. But yes, I actually have seen Debbie Does Dallas.
Fantastic.